Hi everyone, welcome to week number 2. This week what we are focusing on is going to be medical asepsis. So that's going to be chapters 42, pages 960 through 970, and page 1080 out of chapter 46. Now because I said we're going to talk about asepsis and medical asepsis, I want to start with talking about chapter 46 first. So I'm going to focus just on a little bit of that page 1080. So what chapter 46 is dealing with is asepsis, and asepsis is really the process or the condition of being free of diseases or contaminants. So in order to maintain that safety and the safety of those around you, we really should consider all blood and bodily fluids as though they could be potentially infectious and hold bloodborne pathogens. That being said, it's really important that we follow the standard precautions that we talked about in week 1, and along with washing our hands and wearing the proper protective equipment. Now while we're talking about hand washing, I want to inform you that during the lab this week we will be performing a medical aseptic hand wash. So if you want to review that procedure, it's going to be found in chapter 34. So please make sure that you look over that. We did talk about it last week, but I want to make sure that you guys are aware and ready for class this week. Chapter 42 is really going to help you guys for next week when we talk about surgical asepsis, but I want to get you guys thinking of on that process and understanding those different types of surgical instruments that we'll use. So a way that you can understand what a surgical instrument is, it's really something that was designed and created to help during operations or surgery. And, those certain needs that they meet could be things like cutting, dissecting, suturing, grasping or clamping, or dilating, probing, and visualizing. Okay, so those are the ways that they're broken down by their uses. But it's important for you as a medical assistant to understand how we use those tools and how to identify those tools. So one way you can always do it is by their use. But you could also do it by asking yourself a couple of very easy questions. Things like, what type of handle does it have? What type of tip does it have? What type of closure does it have? What type of edges does it have? How long is it? Because if you can determine how long it is, it's going to show you where you're going to use it on the body cavity. And then the last question you can ask yourself is, what is it normally called, or what is it known as? Those are all great questions to ask yourself to help you understand better what the tools are used for. Alright, very short video this week for you guys, nothing really too out of craziness. It is only 11 pages for you to read. Even though I did not go into full depth with the chapters that you do have to read, it is still your responsibility to make sure that you read those 11 pages prior to coming to class this week, okay? Also this week, I want to talk to you guys. We will be starting to discuss our specialist project, and that's something that we're going to talk about in class, and I will print off all of the lab procedure sheets for you so you guys have all that material ready for you. Also this week, I want to talk about your homework a little bit. So your homework is basically you creating an outline that you would teach to other people, other employees, people working in the field, about exposure control plans, how they're set up and what their purpose is. If you want, you can create a presentation through PowerPoint and submit that for your work, and I will accept that. Otherwise, you need to create an outline for that presentation in a Word document. Please make sure, though, that you look at the Angel website so that way you can get the requirements, because there are quite a few bullet points that you need to make sure are in your assignment for this week. It is pretty hefty. This week in lab, what we will be doing is, like I said earlier in the video, we'll be performing a hand washing, but we're also going to talk about the different types of protective equipment and how to apply those pieces and how to remove them in the proper medical aseptic order. Don't forget, you also have one discussion post this week. Your initial post is due on Tuesday with your 2 responses due on Saturday. And I think other than that, it's going to be a pretty easy week. I hope all of you had a great week 1, and I will see you in week 2 on Wednesday. Make sure to wear your scrubs and have a wonderful week. Bye, guys.